And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of ET Contact. I am host Sway, Mercado, but please feel free to just call me Sway. Uh, I'm kind of nervous because normally I have a couple of different YouTube channels and that's more for comedy, and I don't have any problems showing my comedic side, doing funny videos, that sort of thing. But when it comes to me being vulnerable and talking about something that I've been very I've been passionate about for years, something that many of you have been passionate about and have been dealing with and all that. You know, it's something that I don't talk about, that I personally don't talk about, at least in this type of a forum or type of environment. But I'm gonna try to do this. So, here on this channel, I aim to provide a safe space, a safe place for fellow ET contactees to tell their story of what's happening in their lives, what they've been going through, as well as a bunch of other opinions and beliefs and that sort of thing. I want to be able to interview many different people, talk about many different topics, such as the whole ET contact, the UFO phenomenon, the Mandela effect, spiritual and religious views, similarities, differences, that sort of thing. I want to be able to have an open forum for everyone here on this channel. I want to be able to, again, just to have a safe space, a safe place for something for anybody out there that just wants to tell their story. I'm not by any means an expert on anything. I always say that, I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just a student of life. I'm a student of my surroundings. I'm a student of, just everything. On this channel, I will also be promoting many YouTube channels from friends that have different content, and I will feature it from time to time. Definitely, it's important that in this community that we support each other. I mean, right now in this community, in our community, there tends to be a lot of division. There tends to be a lot of hatred, animosity. And, I don't want to do that. I don't want to cause that. I don't want to have any of that on this channel and this, in this safe space, this safe zone. I don't want to have that. The fact is that if, I may not necessarily agree with everything that somebody is out there saying. I may not agree with, with whatever they believe and so on and so forth. I don't have to. It doesn't mean that I can't care about them. It just means that we have a difference of opinion. Sometimes, sometimes with me, and one thing that I've noticed is that the best thing is that sometimes it's the best thing to do is to agree to disagree. I'm not, if when I'm interviewing people here on this channel, I'm not gonna go out and completely say, oh, I disagree or whatever. No, it's not, I'm not gonna do none of that. I will, if I don't agree with something somebody says, that's, I'll keep it to myself. Period. I will keep it to myself due to the, just because, just because I don't agree doesn't mean anything. The fact is that, just because you don't agree with somebody's different viewpoint doesn't mean you can't care about them. I care about everybody. I care about all human beings. We're all in the journey. We're all in the journey. I'm not going to try to trip somebody up just because no, just forget that. Forget that. I would like to apologize ahead of time if I swear or curse know, that's just part of my personality, that sometimes it happens. I would like to apologize ahead of time if when I'm talking about certain things that I kind of meander off into other directions. And to be honest with you, it's the fact is that my thinking and my time, the way I go through things, it's not really linear. Like, from point A to B to C to sometimes I start at C and I start at C and then next thing you know I'm going to A and then to Z and you name it. That's just for some reason that's just my mindset, my thinking. Um, that's just how I go. Um, when when thinking about different topics, about what I'm going to be bringing, uh, I will be bringing many things from my own life, my own experiences, from my own research, from just so many different avenues uh, of where I've been, and where I've been behind the scenes and so on and so forth. Uh, to be honest with you, it's interesting how it all started. So but anyway, on top of the promoting my friends YouTube channels and the different content they provide that can benefit many of you in our community, and as well as bringing out many stories of people that they want to share. They finally want to share their story in a safe zone. Um, you know, I hope that you get to know me a little bit, as I will be talking about myself as well. And just go from there. Let's see where we go with this. Let's see where we go. Let's see what we can accomplish together. Because I'm not alone in this. We're all one big cosmic family, and I want to see where we can go with this, pretty much. Let me adjust my camera real quick. Yeah, okay. I think that's a little bit better. There's a little bit too much headroom. I'm gonna have to fix it little by little as I keep going. Um, I have a background in video production, graphic design, photography, videography, basically all types of media production and web design and that sort of thing. I have a background in that. That's what I studied in school and stuff. But my main background has been within the Christian community, the Christian faith, the Christian belief, the Christian religion, however you want to say it. It doesn't bother me how you say it. That's my main background. My dad, he is a teacher. He is a teacher, a Christian teacher at a couple different Bible institutes he's been a part of, pretty much like seminary. I'm the first one in the family to become an ordained minister. I've been an ordained minister for years, and that's my background. But that's not where I want to just end it as far as where I started. You see, along my journey, and I will be talking about my journey with other things. Along my journey, due to an insatiable craving to thirst, whatever, for knowledge, and the easiest thing that I was able, growing up, I was growing up in a very poor. We didn't have much. We didn't have a car. There was no way to go to local libraries or that, or, there was no cable TV. Most of the time, but I want to say like 85% I didn't have no cable TV, so we were stuck with the bungee antennas. They just, I was limited in what I can research. There was no internet at the time either. The internet wasn't, it isn't what it is now. But I had a desire for knowledge. So, I started studying within my own faith that I had. I get into more details and stuff as I keep going along with the shows and things like that. But I had a thirst, so I started studying within that. But then in school, we started learning about the Greek mythos. And I do it in quotations because I will be getting to that stuff later on as I go. But I started studying that. And as I kept on going through the grades, and this is elementary school, as I kept on going through the grades, we were learning about other mythologies and beliefs and that sort of, just on a general scale. But I wanted to learn more. The basis and the creation stories and so on and so forth and everything, and that's what I kept on saying. And by some miracle, we were able to get a car. We were able to. There was just so much stuff that just all of a sudden came. It came, and I was able to study and research everything, and that's just within that background alone. That background alone, it's wow. You can study every religion worldwide for years, and still not really understand it. And a lot of Christian ministers don't like me because they have this attitude of that they're the experts or what. No, you're not. You're not. No one can say that they're an expert. And I'll say, and I'll speak this in the Christian, as far as the Christian community. Nobody can say that they are an expert. It is a constant journey of studying and prayer and meditation and seeking answers. Now, one of the current speakers in our community, I don't name names, but I'm sure if I give enough clues, you'll know what I'm talking about. I will agree with what he says, is that, each and every one of us, we see things through our own lens, our own discernment based on how we grew up and so on and so forth. To seek truth and knowledge, we have to have a very clear, we can't go on whatever we learned and our experience with, and we have to try to see things through a pure lens, a pure discernment. And within my lifetime, I'm 36 right now. Right now is October 9th, 2019, as I'm doing this. I'm 36. But one of the things I've learned that through prayer and meditation, to clear your mind and, and pray to God, and some of you call God source, or, I'm not, again, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. No. I'll say God if you want to say source, that's up to you. This isn't a channel where I'm gonna be like, oh no, Papa, no. Everybody here, here in this channel, I'm open to everybody's interpretation. I'm open to everybody's belief, everybody's thought process. So, just be open as I speak, where I know. Okay? So, as I pray and I meditate on God, and God, just, give me answers. And I try to clear my head, I try to get through discernment and so on and so forth. So, and that's where my main journey has basically been focused on. A good friend of mine, David, one thing we were talking about is that, if you think about it, many of the famous religious leaders, within the Bible, within the Quran, what have you, they were contactees. Buddha himself was a and this is just us talking back and forth. Buddha was a contactee, Jesus, and I have more things on Jesus, but again, that goes to another topic. Contactees. Moses, if you know the story of Moses, he was on the mountain, right, while they were in the desert, and talking, he was talking on the mountain, to God. So, this the contactee, if they're going to go within those terms and phrases. So it's one of those, one of the things when I'm red pilling people within the Christian community, I have to use terminology that they will understand. So that way, it's not so offensive to them. See, you have to be careful when you're red pilling people. You have to be careful. You have to do it out of compassion, out of love, out of action, out of caring for people. So when you're red pilling, you might have to use terminology that they will get and understand. So that way, it's not so offensive and then they're closed off. So, excuse me for a second. And that's one of the things I've learned. So, that's where my main journey started. Well, one of my main journey is that. I'll say it that way. I always knew I was different. Since I was, at first, as long as I knew I was different. Just my character, my personality, everything was just so different than what was around me. I was bullied a lot. I was made fun of because of the fact that I was different, but I knew I was different. I don't know why. And there's certain gifts and certain talents and certain abilities that I had and still have to this day, where I couldn't tell anybody about it. And to some degree, I still can't, but only people who are closest to me know. So the weird thing is that I've always had contact with ETs throughout my life. I've had issues with sleepwalking, sleep paralysis. I've had, even to this day, sleep paralysis, and sleepwalking every now and then. Another issue within, many fellow contactees, they know what I'm talking about with the ringing in the ears. It sounds like a field of cicadas. And one thing about me is that I've had it for so long that it's become more like background noise. Like I don't even notice it. I just had it for so long. Like maybe every once in a while, depending on if I'm out of focus or something, that it comes back in like 10-fold, 20-fold, what have you, right? And it's just that ring, or if I decide to just focus on that, I know it's there. So it's just become like background noise, like white noise. So, I've had it for so long, so, and I've had a wonderful ability for compassion, love, even people who hurt me like crazy. So, there's just so many things that I'll get into in future videos, but, as an intro for this first video, again, just going back into, my life, I know I was different. And, mind you, we're poor, we're not, we don't have money for anything, whatever, it's not really we had a black and white TV for a long time. For a very long time. So, anyway, so I can remember that there was always something weird about me. I didn't know what. And I've always had some kind of communication. I'm thinking I'm talking to myself, but it didn't, when you're talking to yourself, you hear it in your own voice, right? You're mentally thinking it's in your own voice, but this wasn't in my own voice. And it's always been more of a friendly thing. Um, so anyway, again, as I was saying earlier, when things started getting better financially, we had a color TV, cable, and one night out of the blue, it was on Fox. It was, they're premiering a show called Sightings. I think and that was pretty much the same night they gave the first episode of The X-Files. And then it was, well, first it was Simpsons. The Simpsons, it was basically they called it an all UFO, all alien event. I think it was on a Halloween or something. I don't remember. I got to look into the year and date and all that. But it was a all alien thing, and it was the episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns, he was taking drugs, and because he was taking some kind of drugs, for his health, and because the nuclear power plant was unsafe, that every time he would glow in the dark. So something happened with Homer was I'm sorry for the long story, but Homer was I guess walking or driving through the woods or something, and he sees an alien gray. And it's really Mr. Burns at the end. And then it was the episode of The X-Files. I believe it was the first episode or something. Then it was the first episode of the show called Sightings. Now this is what clued me in, because I'm thinking of, since those two shows are entertainment, I thought mind you, again, I had no frame of reference to anything regarding this topic. Before, we have known anything, what you're gonna do. So the show called Sightings, and towards the end of the show, they're talking about alien abduction and whatever. And then one of the people being interviewed, they drew a picture of what they saw. Now, mind you, Simpsons didn't really show it to that effect. The X-Files didn't. So I'm like, okay, and I'm just like, next thing you know, when they showed that drawing of the alien gray, I'm like, holy crap. It was more like, holy shit. That was, again, part of my language. But that was just my reaction. I was like, holy shit, what the heck is, oh my gosh. I know what that is. It was, and as I get more into my life experiences and things like that, I'll give more details on different things. But again, this is just an intro. So I was like, holy shit, and from that point on, that's where my contact with ETs really started, increasing. Really started increasing. But within my life from that point to now, I know I've been on a journey of some significance to myself, maybe to family. I have no idea. Again, if I don't know something, I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know something, but that's not me. But the fact is that we're all on a journey. One of the beautiful things that I have learned just from my experiences alone, and not just in researching, but everything all together, is the fact that we are all on a wonderful journey. And yes, you know what, in our world, in our universe, and whether you want to include the different dimensions and see that you have positive and you have negative, and it's just like there's positive and negative humans, positive, negative, but when you connect with beautiful, positive, negative people, whether it's here, with fellow human beings or out there, you realize, it's such a big journey, it's such a journey. We're all on a journey of some form. And if we can help here as fellow human beings, if we can help bring another human being to a positive journey, switch from their negative to be positive. If, like one mission that I have is to help make people smile, make people laugh. And I do that within my videos, my comedy, or within my compassion and my love for others, just the way that I am. So that's one thing that I hold dear. So if if somebody's feeling sad, they're upset, and I can make them smile, it's just wonderful. And we're all on our own journey. So one thing is that, why would I try to trip you up on your journey? If anything, I want to help you on your journey in whatever way that I can. I want to be able to at least give you different options, different opinions, just let you know what's out there and let you meditate and reflect on it. But I'm not going to trip you up. And now you're going to have some negative entities, negative people that will try to trip you up. They'll try to put a stop to that, and that's not what I'm going to do. Now, you may not agree with everything that I say, and that's fine. I may not agree with everything you say or you do, but that's fine. But my job is not to trip you up. My job is to love you as a person. My job is to care about you for who you are, whether I agree with you or not. That's not what I care about. What I care about is that you are a person. You are a human being. You just like me as a human being. We bleed. When we bleed, it comes out red, right? When we're hungry, we eat food. When we're thirsty, we drink water, juice, whatever. If we gotta use the bathroom, we gotta use the bathroom. Whatever, right? We all want to be loved. We all want to be cared about. So that's where I feel it's most important for us to come together in this community and listen to each other. Actually listen to each other. And we may not agree with everything, but that's fine. That's totally fine. But let's at least listen to each other. Hear each other. So again, this is just a quick intro. Again, as I get further along into the show, hopefully I can bring you some awesome interviews. I can bring you some awesome content through this channel. And I don't know, maybe I might, you might want to contact me. You might want to contact me. And if so, my contact information is in the description box below. And just, feel free to send me a message. Alright, you take care.